Hey there, and welcome to the Reflux Revolution podcast. I'm Molly Pelletier, registered dietitian, leader in nutrition for reflux, GERD, and LPR, the founder of Flora Nutrition, and a former GERD sufferer for over a decade. I have been where you are. After years of struggling with reflux symptoms and feeling overwhelmed by conflicting advice on the internet, I made it my mission to help you find real, long-lasting relief. So in this podcast, we are cutting through the noise, providing practical, evidence-based strategies, and giving you the tools to understand and finally manage reflux with confidence. So let's dive in. The information shared in the Reflux Revolution podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical condition, and it should not replace personalized medical advice from your physician or individualized medical nutrition therapy from a registered dietitian. Always consult with your healthcare team before making any changes to your health routine. So the topic of today's podcast is what holds most people back from healing from reflux. And one of you guys commented this on one of my first podcasts that you wanted me to talk about this topic of why people don't get relief. And I love this. And we are just on the same wavelength, you guys, because this was on my list of episodes to make. So it's absolutely such an important topic. And here's the truth. Most people don't struggle with healing reflux because they're not trying hard enough. The struggle is often because they're focused on the wrong things. So let me know if this sounds familiar. You've cut out acidic foods, you've tried aloe vera juice, you're taking 5 new supplements, yet you're still waking up with a lump in your throat or that acidic feeling in your throat or your mouth and feeling like you're totally stuck on what to eat. If you've ever felt frustrated, like, why is nothing working? Like, I'm putting in all this effort and nothing's working. This episode is for you. I have to start with the mindset piece. Mindset matters so much more than you think, and your mindset is the foundation of your healing. One of the most overlooked factors in healing reflux is the belief that it's just about food, that your body is broken, that you'll never find relief. A lot of people are kind of stuck in this mindset spiral. I know I was. When I was struggling with reflux, I truly couldn't visualize a future where I didn't have reflux. I was very stuck in that thought, in that belief that I would never get better, and that was sending my nervous system into a spiral. And when your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, you literally cannot heal. On a cellular level, our tissues can't heal, and then also our digestive system doesn't work as well. Our digestive system is deprioritized, and our nervous system controls our digestion. So this is why the mindset is so important, because it can really impact your nervous system function, which then impacts your digestion. And here's what I see again and again is people who believe that healing is possible, who approach reflux as a puzzle that they can learn to solve. They tend to get better faster and they stay better. On the flip side, people who feel hopeless and stuck in this fear-based relationship with food and symptoms, they stay stuck longer. And it's not their fault. It's not your fault if you are feeling this way. I have been there. Reflux can feel really scary, and the information online can be downright conflicting and confusing. But if you've been thinking there must be something wrong with me, pause, take a deep breath. You're not broken. Your body is not broken. And you're just missing a few key pieces. And one of them is your mindset and really taking control of your nervous system health, which is why we talk about this so much on the podcast and on my YouTube channel, is really that nervous system support on a daily basis. Next up is food tunnel vision. Yes, what you eat really matters. I'm a dietitian. I'm never going to say food doesn't matter. And there are common trigger foods. I'm not going to go into this podcast today because I think a lot of you probably know what the trigger foods are, or you can look up that information. If you want me to make a podcast on that, let me know. But there are common trigger foods. Identifying your threshold amounts of those foods is really helpful. And that's something that we love to help our clients do. But here's what I want you to know. Food is only one part of the reflux puzzle. I've worked with hundreds of clients who cut out all the trigger foods, all the quote unquote right foods, but still had symptoms because they were eating in a rush, eating while anxious, skipping meals, going way too long without eating and then overeating, not thinking about their mealtime hygiene strategies. And I need you to really know that the how you eat matters just as much as what you eat. The how you eat might even be more important than what you eat. Reflux is a whole body condition. It's about pressure, digestion, your nervous system. And that's why focusing only on what you're eating and not how you're eating can leave you frustrated, discouraged, and over-restricted. So if you want me to make another podcast on mealtime hygiene, let me know. But this is something that really needs to be thought of, is like slowing down, chewing well, and really being intentional with how you're eating. Next up, this might be the biggest game changer of all, and I've sort of already hinted at this, but most people completely ignore their nervous system in their reflux healing journey. When you're constantly in fight or flight, digestion takes a back seat. Your esophageal sphincter tightens or loosens at the wrong times. You can feel a lump in your throat, a chest tightness, post-meal burping. All of these symptoms can be related to nervous system dysfunction. And when we regulate the nervous system through breath work, mindfulness, boundaries, rituals in our day that help us to unplug, we support the body's natural healing response. I've had clients reduce their reflux symptoms just by focusing on this one piece, just by focusing on their nervous system, reducing the constant stimuli that is being thrown at us from the world, and really reconnecting to a healthy nervous system, a pace that feels sustainable for them in their life. And this is why I emphasize tools like 1-2 breathing, like extending your exhale twice as long as the inhale, having a structured mealtime schedule, and practicing nervous system regulation tools like meditation, yoga, reflux-directed hypnotherapy. All of these things are inside the Flora app and in all of our programs, because healing happens when your body feels safe. I cannot emphasize that enough. I'll say it again because it's so important. Healing happens when your body feels safe. And if you need therapy to kind of work to that point, there is nothing wrong with that. I saw a therapist in my healing journey, and it was really, really helpful. So the next thing I get asked all the time that really also is something I see that hinders people's progress is supplement overload. And the question that I get asked is, what's the best supplement for reflux? And my honest answer is, it depends. The supplement aisle can be so overwhelming, especially if you look at social media with all these ads and it seems like everything is the next new big thing. It can be really confusing. And adding 5 new supplements each week without addressing root causes, without understanding how to really take these for your body and your symptoms, can actually delay healing. Too often people grab recommendations from influencers or Reddit threads without knowing if these supplement recommendations really fit their unique root causes and their unique symptoms. So we really need to understand, is it acid reflux? Is it LPR? Is it bile reflux? Is it SIBO? Without a root cause assessment, it's really hard to understand what supplements to use. So over supplementation, using all of your resources to buy supplements instead of focusing on nutrition or therapy or nervous system support, like that is counterproductive for sure. And I'm not saying social media isn't a great place to learn. Like, that's how you found me. Social media, I think, is amazing. I've met really great friends on social media, but it's not a substitute for personalized care. And you have to know that when you're seeing people make these big claims about supplements, you have to be so cautious, because there is a monetary incentive there. And then also people are saying, this is a miracle if it worked for them, but just because it worked for them doesn't mean it will necessarily work for you. So make sure that the people you follow have credentials, that they are doctors or registered dietitians, that they're using citations, and that you're not basing your major health decisions off of a 30-second reel. Now, let's talk about consistency. One of the hardest truths in reflux healing is that it takes time. Most people try a new strategy and they expect results in 3 days, and they give up when their symptoms return. But real healing happens in layers. It's not linear. You have to know that your body is not Amazon Prime, and sometimes results do not happen immediately. When it comes to reflux healing, I say this all the time, you've probably heard me say this, but consistency is the secret sauce. Most people give up too soon, and if you stay consistent long enough, you get true tissue healing, which allows you to then reintroduce foods and find long-term healing. So I've seen clients go from daily symptoms to full food freedom, but only because they stayed consistent. Even when it was hard, they gave themselves the time and the space. They trusted the process. This can take 6 months to a year to 18 months, depending on how long you've had reflux. You can't expect if you've had a 10-year journey with reflux to be better in 10 days. This is gonna take time. So if you're in that place of this isn't working, ask yourself, am I giving this enough time? Have I really been consistent? Am I building the right foundations, or am I constantly chasing new quick fixes? Here's what I want you to take away from this episode. Healing reflux is possible, but it takes the right mindset, a whole body approach, and the patience to stay the course. You don't have to do this alone. That's why we created the Flora app community. Definitely reach out if you need more support. There are links down below for you. We have loads of free resources on our website, free downloads, free meal plan, grocery guide. So take advantage of all the free stuff in the description of this episode. And if this episode was helpful, please share it with a friend who needs it. Leave a review. That really helps us reach more people with reflux who are looking for support. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode. Your review and your subscribe, your support really helps us grow the Reflux Revolution podcast and reach more people who need this kind of support. So until next time, take a deep breath, eat with intention, and remember, your body can heal.